What's happening, YouTube? Back in the day gamer here. Thanks for tuning into my channel. And today, it's the Eclipse. It's happening right now. So I wonder how the footage looks under an eclipse. Because no one's ever shot a YouTube video under a total eclipse that I know of. Today, we're going over my pickups. Every spring I like to shoot my pickup video under my cherry tree here, and it's blooming. So, it's also the eclipse. Did I mention that? I've got some bangers here. I got a good pile of games that I've accumulated over however many months it's been since my last pickup video. So let's jump in and see what we got. So as I mentioned, it is the eclipse right now. Totality was 5 minutes ago, and that's happening. I don't know if you've worn a pair of these glasses, but it blocks out absolutely everything except the sun, which I'm looking at now. Cheers, YouTube. This was an event. It wasn't quite as spectacular as everyone made it out to be, but it's pretty cool. And I do wonder if it seems different now on camera, because everything seems grayer and shadowier. People are driving. Why would you be driving during this? Everybody's closed. Anyhow, we're making a video about games that I picked up from back in the day for you guys to enjoy. So let's see what we got. Like I said, there's some really good ones here. I'm just gonna smush this around and do it in no particular order. I'm gonna reach over, we're gonna grab, there's a good amount of Game Boy Advance games in here, as usual, but the first one I grabbed is a banger. It's the combo cartridge of Paperboy and Rampage. Now both these games are pretty fantastic, but are they on this? Paperboy is the first game on the cartridge, so that's the one we're gonna play. I love Paperboy. I'm a huge fan. I actually think the NES version is my favorite. I really do not like the Genesis version. There are other versions that are okay. Paperboy 2 isn't bad, but the NES version will always be my favorite. This seems to be a port of the arcade, and I do not super care for it. It doesn't handle well. The graphics are like I said, I think it is a port of the arcade. Be a lot cooler if you're playing with handlebars, like in the arcade, but you're not. So I'm not giving this one a thumbs up, but the other game on the cartridge is Rampage, a game which I do not like nearly as much as Paperboy, but this version is banging. It blows the Paperboy game away. I'm not sure, I don't know if these are ported from the arcade or whatever, but the Rampage edition here is a lot of fun. Graphics are great, it controls well. It seems like the jump is a lot faster than it usually is when you're playing other versions. That's neither good nor bad, it just seems faster. But this version of Rampage is a good one, so I do recommend this cartridge. Looks like I picked it up for a whopping $8 at wherever I picked it up from. It's worth it to me. Next up, what do we got here? This was a game that I highly anticipated, never heard before, saw it, and had to have it. Apparently I paid $9.99 for it. It's a original Game Boy cartridge, and that is Mr. Chin's Gourmet Paradise. I really anticipated liking this game when I picked it up. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm kind of a foodie and it's called Gourmet Paradise? Not sure, but I am somewhat disappointed. It's got that Fama-crazy vibe. It's not a terrible game, but it's not a great game either. The graphics are poor. The controls are slippery. It reminds me somewhat of the original Mario Brothers, which I'm not a huge fan of. But I mean, this game is not without its charm. It's worth playing. The more time I put into it, as I've said a million times before, the more I enjoyed it. So I guess that just goes for every game, no matter how good or bad it is. But I guess the best part about this game is the character animation. Really like how he opens his mouth up and chomps. The coolest part so far was when I got to glitch out the bonus stage here, when you just jump up on top and the food just falls infinitely right in your mouth. Chomp, 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 chomp. That was rather amusing. Other than that, I'm not really recommending Mr. Chin's Gourmet Paradise, but I've played worse. Speaking of games I've played that are worse. Yeah, when I picked this one up, I was extra jazzed. I'm not sure why, and you're probably gonna laugh at me when you see what it is, but big fan of Halloween and any game that can fit the Halloween theme. So when I saw this one, I thought it was gonna be a Halloween banger. It is not. It's a Game Boy Advance game. The Berenstain Bears, right? That had potential. The Sega Genesis game, was it? Yeah, the Sega Genesis Berenstain Bear game was pretty good. This one is not the same game at all, and it's also not pretty good. It's called The Spooky Old Tree. So this is one of those games where you can switch between characters. Not can, but have to switch between characters to get past certain parts of the board. I'm never really a fan of that, and I'm also not a fan of it here. The graphics got that washed out, blocky look, which I don't like from games on the GBA. Not every game, but a lot of the games on the GBA have this graphical style, which I'm not a huge fan of. It could be worse, but speaking of being worse, the gameplay, for instance, it's not fun at all. And I didn't really get that far, but it doesn't have a spooky old tree vibe. They threw some pumpkins and whatnot in here to give you more of a Halloween effect, but I think they hosed us on that one. So that's all we're gonna say about that game. Next game is a rare Nintendo 64 pickup because there's just not really that many good games on the Nintendo 64, and I hardly ever pick games up for it. But this one was highly anticipated, and I believe it's gonna be one of my favorite N64 games. I have no game footage for it because I haven't yet put it in, but I've watched several videos on the game itself, and I know I'm gonna like it because I like almost everything Scooby-Doo, and this one looks to be top tier. This is Scooby-Doo Classic Creep Capers. I'm sure you've all heard of this game. I know there's a Game Boy version, maybe Game Boy Color. I thought that one really sucked, but what I watched of this, and in anticipation for making this video, I watched a couple videos last night, and I liked the graphics. It looks really good. It looks like the consensus is the gameplay is good as well. It's got a nice storyline. I think there's 4 different chapters with 4 different stories. I think 3 of them are actual Scooby-Doo mysteries, and the last one is unique. I really like Shaggy's animation when he walks. Too bad you can't see it here, but he's got that hippie bell-bottom stride. This looked to be a lot of fun, and I super anticipate playing this one. Sorry I haven't yet. I'm not gonna lie. I could tell you, I could just lie and say I did, but this is a game that just surprised the hell out of me because I like to snowboard, and when I see a snowboarding game, I usually pick it up. And there's several of them on the handhelds, and they generally almost always suck. So I just assumed this one was gonna suck. It doesn't have a price tag on it. I don't know. I know it was less than $5. I think I got this from Video Game Cavern in the Carolinas. I like to get on their website. They have good prices. So, you know, I was just like, what the hell? It's under $5. I'm ordering it. It's a Game Boy Color game called Trick Boarder. And this is a Game Boy Color hidden gem. Bearing in mind that it is a Game Boy Color game, so it's only going to be so graphically impressive. But the colors on this super pop. So right away, it catches your eye. Secondly, it controls really well. Normally, these snowboarding games graphically suck and the controls suck as well. The controls on this are smooth. It's a real speedy game. It flows nice. The downfall is that sometimes it's too speedy and you're crashing. You know, it's a handheld game, so the screen size isn't very large. I believe if it were on a console and the game screen were expanded, that would be a problem you wouldn't have, but it's not really that much of a problem. That's just my one gripe. I really, really like this game. If you're into Game Boy Color and or snowboarding, I suggest you get it. Trick Boarder, like I said, as you can see, the colors pop. There's a bunch of different characters to choose from, and then you're doing like a tournament where after every one you get points for tricks and whatnot, and then it keeps score and you go to all the different runs, and at the end of all the runs it adds them up and you see who the winner is. And the winner in this one was not me, because the footage from this was my first time playing it. I did play it more and had a lot more fun. But yeah, Trick Boarder on the Game Boy Color. Hidden gem. Never even heard of the game. 100% positive it was going to be terrible. It was not. It was not at all. We got this is a PlayStation 2 game. I was especially excited about this one because from the cover and the game screenshots on the back and just the description, it seemed freaking awesome. In anticipation for this, having not have played it, watching some videos as I watched on some of the other games, this is generally renowned as one of the worst games on the PlayStation 2, and I believe you pronounce it Prizm. It kind of looks like Prism, but Prizm. You are an elf or a gnome or something like that riding a unicorn. Look at that. Check out the cover, right? That's pretty, you know, if you were at the game store and you saw this, yeah, you'd buy it. The screenshots on the back are fantastic. The colors pop. It's kind of, the graphics aren't the best, but, you know, I was just like, hell yeah, I'm buying this. $5.99. I should have known by the $5.99 that this game wasn't going to be good. So it's Prizm Chapter 1, The Dark Unicorn. In both videos I watched, they said, spoiler, there is no Chapter 2 because this game was terrible. Apparently, it's not any fun, and the controls suck really bad. Just, yeah, buy an elf casting spells, riding a unicorn on the cover. I bought that book by the cover and was fooled. This game here, it's in a, people are done watching the Eclipse break, hold on. Oh wow, it's not even halfway done. Nearly to halfway. You've all saw it, you're not watching it now, but you've seen it. It's almost completely regular out now. Sun-wise just seems a little bit cloudy, but... So this is an Xbox. I'm a big original Xbox fan. I also really like the green cases. Last pickup video, I picked up the Krusty Demons of Dirt motocross game. This one jumped out when I was looking at those style of games as well. You know, I'm a BMXer, not a skateboarder, but this one is Freestyle Metal X. We're not going to get into it too much because there's no gameplay footage, but I also watched some videos since there was no gameplay footage, so I could get some filler in on this video, because otherwise it's like, there's the game, it's done right now. But apparently this is a really good game also. It's a lot like the Krusty Demons Dirt game, which I liked. You know, you got your riders of the day, of the early 2000 era. Most of you watching this probably don't care, but I do. That's why I bought the game. And apparently there's a, you know, when you got the tutorials and you're in the playing the game, there's a girl in a skimpy bikini that tells you what you need to do. That just follows suit with everything that's 90s freestyle motocross, right? Alright, a couple more games here. Something that's not a game though. My buddy gave me this. It's a Hot Wheels. It's a Cadillac Seville. It's 82. Mine's an 84. But it's still pretty sweet. I'm going to pop it open, but I haven't yet. But it's a pickup. And Hot Wheels are from back in the day. So yeah, 84 Seville. My favorite car of all time. I love mine. It's right back there. Can you see it in the video? I don't think you can. But it is. Yeah. We'll be busting that out. We'll shoot our next pickup video in the Caddy. Okay. I saw Captain Algebra playing this. It's another Game Boy Advance game. I saw Captain Algebra playing this, and it looked good. I didn't expect it to be a challenge. So far, it has not been. But it's one of them Disney movie adaptations, which generally aren't very good. But this one is. Home on the Range. I'm sure Angry Baby and I have watched this, but I can't recall. But in playing it, starting off, you're a horse. And you're kicking and punching people. And that was pretty damn funny. After you beat everybody up, he does this huge, most muscular pose, flexing, showing his biceps. I thought that was freaking hilarious. Then the board after that, it's like a third person. You're riding the horse board. There's not a lot of levels like this in games. I'm spacing out now. I know there was a Famicom game I played that I really liked that had a level like this, but I thought it was super cool. It does not have the crappy-ish style graphics like on the Berenstain Bear game. It has the upgraded GBA graphics, and you know, I'm really liking everything about this game so far. I don't, you know, only really played it for about a half an hour, but it's on deck for a good time. Once you go through the horse, you're the goat, and the goat is all kinds of funny. He's gruffy, he looks gruffy. If you know anything about goats, they're always butting you with their horns, and his attack is to butt with horns. You pick up 100 stars and you get a free life. He picks up rusty aluminum cans, which is something a goat would eat, right? There's all kinds of cool little things with this. For one, you get a double jump. And back in the day, gamer loves him a good double jump, and you don't have them a lot in games, but every time you do, they're a blast. And when you got I think you have to eat the bean, so you get the jumping bean, which makes you double jump, which is just another super cool thing. You pick up another red bean. It's like I don't know why I said bean. It's pepper. But when you get the green one's the jumping bean, the red one, you know, it's the hot one. So that puts some pep in your step. You get to run faster, jump higher, hit harder. You do like a ground stomp, which is really you jamming your head and your horns into the ground, and it knocks things over. There's just a lot more to this game than I expected there would be, and I'm looking forward to getting into more of it because literally I had a lot of fun with it. Oh, you hear that? The birds started chirping again. They said the birds are going to stop chirping. They didn't really. Everything got quiet, but there were still birds. And now, ooh, that sun's kicking now. But that bird's loud. We got lucky here on the border of Ohio and Michigan. There was no sun. But back to Home on the Range. Yeah, everything about this game was great. It controlled well. It was fun to play. The double jump did add a lot to it. Like I said, I love me a double jump. Who doesn't, right? But I know Captain Algebra spoke highly of this game and said it was great. That was the reason why I got it. I believe I ordered this one with the snowboarding game from Video Game Cavern, which I suggest you go to videogamecavern.com and check out their selection of games. They're always really good priced. I mean, you know, I'm always on the hunt for my NES games. They don't have a terrible amount of them available. At least ones I don't have. They do have a lot available, but there's few and far between when I actually find ones that I need. So, you know, then I move on to the Game Boy and Game Boy Advanced sections, and that's usually what I end up getting from them. And they delivered once again. We're down to the last two games here. I'm going to save what I consider to be the best for last. But this is the Sega Genesis game I picked up, and a while back, Elephant Nerd was playing this one and highly recommended it. I believe I commented on something, and he said, oh yeah, you'll really like this game, and he was right. It's another game that I never hear of. I'm not sure why, but it being good surprises me. I literally had never heard of it until his video, and now you're hearing about it from me. Shadow Blasters. I really like this game, like I said. It controls well. Didn't know anything about it when I bought it, but he No Death ran it, and he highly recommended it. So I went through playing it. Well, I didn't went through playing it. I've not played through it either. I was playing the game. I like it. It controls well. It's fun. The graphics are good. The colors really pop. I can't remember about the sound. I may have been playing it while I was jamming 80s rock. But generally, Genesis games kick ass sound-wise. So I'm just going to go ahead and say I think the sound rocks. Yeah, huh? That's just a total guess, though, because I don't recall it at all. The cover art here is quite something. I don't know, I don't know if they did a contest for kids in high school to see who could draw the best cover for this, but maybe that was the case. Despite the cover art being bad, this is a solid game. I'm super glad I caught his video and he recommended it. Big thanks to Elf Nerd. That's a fun one that I would have not known anything about aside from his video. Just one more awesome thing about YouTube, right? I never would have known anything about that game if I hadn't saw his video. Has anybody played or even heard of Shadow Blasters? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm doubting I'm going to get a lot of response to that. Okay, this is probably the best game in the pickups, but I'm saving. This one is my favorite so far. I have not played this one, but I believe it's probably going to be the best one since I haven't played it. We're saving the best for last, but everybody's probably going to be like, back in the day gamer, how the hell have you not played Simpsons Road Rage on the Game Boy Advance? Sorry. And I'm such a huge Simpsons fan. I'm not sure what video I recently saw about someone praising this game, but it occurred to me that I didn't have it, and I am a massive Simpsons fan. So I watched another full video on it and was just like, yeah, I'm sold. This game was, I want to say it was like $12 or $15. Everybody says that this is the best version of a Simpsons driving game, and I try to get my hands on every Simpsons game I can. Because not only am I a huge video game fan, but I am a huge Simpsons fan, and most Simpsons games suck. I did just play through Simpsons, the Escape from Camp Deadly, that's what it was. And that game started off being terrible, but once again, the more I played it, the more I liked it, found myself hooked, and I was like, you know what, I'm beating it. I think it took me 24 hours of not playing time, but from the moment I decided I'm going to beat it, and I played it for a few hours, ended up beating it, you know, in a day's time. But that was not a great game. Simpsons Road Rage is apparently a great game. I know it is just by watching the videos, and I know I'm going to love it because I have played, I'm not sure if it's Simpsons Road Rage, or a different Simpsons driving game. You know, I've played a few of them, but they were on consoles, not handhelds. Everyone's preaching this one is the best version of it, whether it be on a console or handheld. I've got it now. Pow! And that sucker's literally going in after this. I've been busy with the food truck and the Eclipse coming. I wanted to film right when it was happening, and an angry baby didn't let me in. And I just got the food truck wrapped too. We'll get a little picture of that. The guy just left mid-Eclipse. He finished it. It looks great. Put some roll in here. But, you know, those kind of things were taking precedence over shooting YouTube videos. But I'm never too busy to make a video for you guys. Eventually. I want to say this is 3-4 months worth of pickups at least. But this one here I've had for a while. It's a Super Nintendo Homebrew. I already have the Nintendo NES version, and I like it. And I liked it enough to order me the Super Nintendo version. And I believe the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, NES version came out. Super Nintendo wasn't out yet. When they announced it was out, I felt I had to have it. I ordered it, and now I do have it. And that is, I'm not super sure how you say it, but I think it's Era, the Crow Maiden. I love me some homebrews. I love the NES version of this game, so obviously the Super Nintendo version, being the same game, is quite a step up. Graphically, we went from 8 to 16, and you know, the colors they're more there. There's a lot more to offer graphically on the Super Nintendo, obviously. It's probably why it took so much longer for this one to come out. Or if I'm mistaken, it just took me this much longer to actually get this one. But no, I'm pretty sure they didn't release this one until later, or I couldn't find it. But either way, I've got my hands on it now, and I'm super glad. I love me some homebrews. Love this one enough to have it on both platforms. It's a lot of fun. I hadn't beat the Nintendo version yet, and I still haven't beat this one. I mean, I'm playing this here for you to get the footage now, but when it comes time to sit down and beat this game, I'm going to beat the NES version first, just because that is my jam. Love me some NES. Love me some Super Nintendo as well, obviously, but the NES taking top seat for back in the day gamer. If you didn't know anything about this game, get hip to it. It's pretty cool. I want to say both versions of the game, neither of them were too expensive, and they're both good. Go either way. You know, probably suggest the Super Nintendo version to you because more people are, well, I mean, truthfully, it's just better, and more people are on board with Super Nintendo than regular Nintendo, so I'm just gonna just throw that out there for you. But I had a lot of fun with it. I'm sure you would too. It's why I recommend it. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it because I don't have any stock in this. It doesn't benefit me if you buy it or not. So if I were to lie to you, just lose credibility. And I'm already drinking an Old Milwaukee Tall Boy, so I'm not sure where that puts me on the credibility scale. That's it. That's all the pickups we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. That's a good haul. Like I said, that might even be 6 months worth. Some of these games been in my drawer for a long time. Scooby-Doo, it's coming at you. It's coming at you Halloween time, right? We're April now, so haven't been picking shit up. I'm sorry. I want to buy more stuff. MGC was this weekend. I didn't get to go. Food truck stuff to do. It's all right, because I got these 11 games to keep me busy. Let me know what you think. I'm on deck for playing any of these games, so shout out in the comments which one I need to get started with. Simpsons Road Rage, isn't it? I know it. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed your Eclipse. Where are we at now? Oh, we're two-thirds back to sun. And my neighbor, he's having an Eclipse party. He said, come sit on the deck and watch Eclipse with me. I'm gonna fire up the golf cart and drive over there. Can you see me? Can you see me? Thumbnail. It's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thanks for tuning into my channel, YouTube. Am I looking at the camera? I don't know, because these glasses got it blacked out. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, keep it retro.